Hello and welcome. Now, with this channel, I try to kind of keep things a little bit light-hearted. We kind of do stuff that's sort of amusing and entertaining. We don't really be that serious. If you want to go and watch videos of people shouting away at all sorts of various things, there are plenty of places on YouTube and on the internet that you can go and do that. And we try to be a little bit different. However, much like with the recent Forza 5 thing that I did, I really think I should talk a little bit, or maybe a lot, I don't know how long this is going to go on, about Google Plus and the new comment system, because it is just unbelievably stupid. I mean, the Forza 5 stuff is, in my opinion, fairly bad. I believe they made a wrong decision when they were designing the game. They took it down a sort of wrong course. That's my opinion on this, though, and I can see what they were trying to do. I can see sort of the other side of the argument. However, with this entire Google Plus stuff, I just can't see of any way in which this was a good idea. Even in the cynical view, I still can't see how it's in any way a good idea. It literally feels as if somebody somewhere very high up in Google or YouTube or wherever had an idea and then nobody bothered to question. Nobody asked what might happen if. It reminds me actually a little bit of a story. Just go a little bit off track here. I did A-level history. We were learning about Russia and Stalin and that kind of thing. And there was a story about some Russians. They were trying to build a train track between two places and they couldn't decide on the route. Stalin got fed up. He took the map, took a ruler, and just drew a line between the two places and said, "There you go, build that." When he drew the line, I guess his finger got in the way of the ruler or something, and there was a weird bump on this line. And when the Russians built it, they were so terrified of Stalin, they didn't question why there was a bump there, so they just laid the track like that. That makes sense. I get why they did it, because they were so terrified for their life. That's why nobody asked why. So why at Google headquarters, or whoever made this decision, did nobody sit there to think and ask why? Why are we doing this? What might be the possible outcomes? Because every single thing that they have done has been a wrong decision. Now, we're going to start with the cynical view, the easy view to take on this. That they are merely doing this to promote Google+. I don't really know what Google Plus is. I am presuming it's some sort of English has failed. Social networking website. I'm not a big fan of social networking sites. I very rarely use them, don't much care for them. However, yeah, I presume that's what it is. I don't know a huge amount about it. However, I'm going to hazard a guess that it's probably not doing very well. Why is that? Because everybody uses Facebook and Twitter, and since everybody uses them, people who are kind of trying to get into social networking, I guess, are going to instinctively default to them. So Google Plus isn't having the best of times. Now, if you are a big company like Google, you have the power of Google and the money of Google behind you, and your product still isn't doing well, the chances are it's because it's not very good. Now, as I said, I don't know what the features are of Google+, but if you want to try and take on the likes of Facebook and Twitter, you've got to have something that makes people want to use it. If you don't have that, nobody's going to use it, and I presume that is what is going on at the moment. So, to kind of combat this, Google has decided to try and make everybody who wants to comment on videos on YouTube have a Google Plus account. Now, sure, that might boost massively the numbers of Google Plus accounts. However, that's not going to encourage people to use Google Plus. Nobody's going to care about Google Plus. Sure, you might have to have an account on it, but you are only going to use that account to comment on YouTube videos. So, sure, you might have account numbers, but nobody's using the thing, so how has that made any difference? Now, that's the cynical view of this as well. That's assuming that that is what they are trying to do. And even doing that seems utterly stupid. They would have been better spending their money and time trying to make Google Plus better, trying to attract people to use that, rather than trying to mess up YouTube. Now, let's step away from the cynical view for a minute. Let's assume they were doing all of this with good intentions. They were trying to improve the YouTube comment section. Now, we all know the YouTube comment section is a little bit dodgy. For us, we're alright. We kind of get away with it being a smaller channel and kind of rather more specialised channel. We don't have too many problems. But if you look at a big YouTube channel, yeah, the comment section is atrocious. However, changing the way the comments are delivered is not going to improve that. It's the people that are writing the comments that are the problem, not the way that the comments are delivered. So, in the Google Plus's arguments or whatever, they're trying to promote conversation in the comment section. Comment sections aren't designed for conversation. They were never designed for that sort of thing. They're designed to comment on a video. You're supposed to say maybe what you liked about a video, if there was a particular part you enjoyed, or what you didn't like, what the person can improve for the next time, or in my case, what I've spelt wrong in the video. They're not designed to have a conversation. Again, we're a smaller channel. Even if I kind of get involved in some comments that go on, I end up getting loads of people asking completely unrelated questions, and it all goes very off topic very, very quickly. You think of a big channel, if they try to have a conversation in the comments section, how quickly downhill that would go as everybody tried to spam them for attention. It's not going to work. It is never ever going to work when it comes to content creators, and even amongst sort of people amongst themselves. If the comment kind of ends up towards the top, everybody's just going to spam and try and advertise, because that's what happens in the comments section. There's no way you can make the comments be a good place for conversation. It's never going to work. Maybe on the smaller channels, on the smaller videos, it could possibly work, but when it comes to the bigger stuff, it's never, ever, ever going to happen. You may as well just replace it with a chat box, and that would be a better solution than what they've currently done. It's just never going to work having conversation there. You go to forums, you go to Twitter, you go to wherever it might be, Reddit, I don't know how Reddit works, I never use it, but you go elsewhere if you want to have proper conversation. You don't go to the comment section of YouTube. It just doesn't work like that. People don't treat it like that, and no amount of trying to faff around with it is going to kind of make things different. Now, another thing that they were trying to do is they're trying to discourage people from being hopeless trolls by making them use their real names. Again, this is never going to work. Let's look at Facebook, shall we? I liked, I think, I can't remember how stuff blooming works, the Top Gear page on Facebook, and every so often they'll put up new stuff, they'll put up pictures of cars and whatever. Occasionally, I will click and look at the comments. I think I only do this to remind myself why I hate humanity, because you look at the comments there and it's just useless. It's as useless as the YouTube comment section was. It's utterly terrible, and that's with people who they use their real names. They have all their friends on their friends list, they have family and whatever, and they're still all useless idiots. Why is making people use their real name for YouTube comments going to change this? Why would you think that it's going to stop people from being morons on the internet? And that's even before you start thinking or talking about people using fake names. It's not hard to come up with a fake name that you could get past Google+. It really isn't. So if you want to be an absolute moron, you are still very, very easy to do that. And then you end up being able to bully those that do use their real names, do use their real information, even more effectively than you could before. How in any way is this ever going to end well? How did anybody think that any of that was a good idea? If Facebook can't stop people being useless morons when using their real details, why do you think Google Plus will? So, that's two things down. Let's move on to the next. Links. Why are links allowed in comments now? When was that ever going to work? It's unbelievably stupid. It is quite literally like putting a bull in a paper mache sort of cage and then saying, oh, it'll be fine, if the thing doesn't move, everything will work. How do you not expect people on the internet to abuse this? In what world is this ever going to work? Unless everybody is going to behave themselves, which, let's face it, when it comes to the internet, it's never going to happen. How did nobody expect there to end up being links to viruses, links to porn, etc. in the comments? I'm honestly flabbergasted that the head, or I'm assuming very high-ranking people in two of the biggest internet companies, maybe the biggest internet kind of things going on, didn't think of this. How do you not think of that? Even, let's assume for a minute that people aren't putting links to viruses, aren't putting links to porn and so on in the comments. What was it ever going to be used for? It was only ever going to be used for people advertising their own websites, channels, Twitters, and so on and so forth. It was never going to be used. What was it ever going to be used for in a positive way? There's enough problems with advertising as it is now, let alone actually allowing links in the comment section. This, again, is another really, really stupid, not thought out thing. And then there's the lack of character limit now. I am presuming that was so that we could write longer things if we want to have a conversation. Sometimes the character limit is, well, it limits the length of conversation. But YouTube was fairly good as it was. It was still 500 characters. Sure, Twitter, I'm personally not a big fan of Twitter. You can't really write that much information in 140 characters. In YouTube, though, with 500 odd, that's not too bad. You can normally write most of what you want. It's very rare that your thing is going to be kind of exceed that. So by removing the limit on characters, now all you get is people copy and pasting, spamming, and now this spam, rather than taking up a little section, can take up a really, really big section, and then of course you get people drawing various pictures and willies in the comment section as well. Again, what I can't see, how did you not expect that to go wrong? How was there the assumption that people were going to behave themselves on that? Surely you must have looked at the comment section as it was and seen what it was like before you made these decisions. Maybe you didn't. Maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe these people are new to the internet and don't understand how it works. But yeah, again, it was never going to work. It just really isn't. You can't now flag things as spam. I, as a creator, as the owner of the video, I can remove comments. Sure, on a channel like mine, I can do that if there is a problem. However, on a big channel where you get thousands and thousands of comments, it's impossible for them to go through all of them and keep track of them and remove all of the useless spam. And the fact that other people could flag stuff as spam was helpful because it kind of moderated itself in a way. Whereas now, nope, you just have no control over it at all. Well, I mean, no, tell a lie, you have control over it, you just can't necessarily. So that's another very stupid thing. With the Google Plus, if you have a Google Plus account, I'm not sure how it works quite. This confuses me. But comments made via Google Plus, sorry, go to the top, I think. It works something like that. I'm not really sure how it works, but that's what it looks like. Which means that spam finds its way to the top an awful lot easier, because if you're going to spam a video, you just use your Google, you go on your Google Plus and whatever, so that goes there, and then because you use Google Plus, whatever, you go to the top, more people see it, more people reply to it to say that this is spam, and so on and so forth. More replies put the comment towards the top, so the spam inevitably finds its way to the very top of the video. No, that's I'm not particularly technical minded. I just come up with silly stuff to do with games, and even I can tell you many problems with this. How did nobody think of this being an issue? I don't get it. The new notification system they have doesn't really work very well for me. If I go sort of like I leave my thing overnight, I'll come back in the morning. Before all of this, I got between 6 to 20 comments, or this is comments on different videos. So like the old inbox used to work. It used to show up that there was a new comment on that video. If there were multiple comments, it still only counted as one sort of notification. So if I had 6 notifications or whatever, that would mean that 6 different videos were commented on, and if I had 20, it meant 20 different videos were commented on. On the most part, it was between that kind of range. Sometimes it'd be more, sometimes it would be less, but it was in that sort of range. Now, it only really shows me comments on my most recent sort of 2 or 3 videos. I haven't seen any notifications of older videos. No, tell a lie, I've seen like 2 or 3, but nowhere near the number that I used to get. I don't know if that's because people are commenting less on older videos, or if I'm just not seeing them. I have 400 odd videos. I cannot possibly go through all of them to see if anybody has commented on them on the new ones. And people with more videos than that is even harder. Yeah, it's another. Why do that? Now maybe that notification thing will improve, possibly as time goes on, as things sort of work smoother. But why not worked fine before? I didn't have any issues with it before, so yeah, now they've gone and broken that as well. Currently, I am unable to comment on anything. If the video is private, I can write a comment, but if the video is public, there is nothing I can do about this. Now, this, from what I've heard, is because I need a Google Plus account. Well, I have a Google Plus account. If I go on Google, I can sign in with my FailRace account, and if I go on there, it says it's linked with my YouTube account, but from there, I now can't post on public videos, and I don't know why. I spent a day trying to fix this, and I can't. It just doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. Do I have to create another account and then merge the 2 of them together so that I can comment? I don't know. I really don't have a clue how to get it to work. And it's again, it's another stupid thing. I make the damn videos that go on YouTube. Sure, I'm not the biggest video maker that there is, but I still make the damn things, and I'm now unable to comment on my own videos, let alone anybody else's videos. And I have a Google Plus whatever nonsense since I had to change it at some point to all of this to work. So yeah, it's just unbelievably broken in almost every single way. Now, I am kind of tempted to turn the comments off purely on principle, on the fact that they are uselessly broken. As I mentioned earlier, we don't have so many of these problems. Being a small channel, we kind of get away with it. Those that find us, as we kind of specialise, those that find us tend to be your car enthusiasts, your racing game enthusiasts, and so on. So we all tend to be fairly sensible. Sure, you have the odd idiot, but we don't have the massive problems with spam. I haven't had the massive problems with people posting links and everything. But if we do start having issues, I will just take them off. Yeah, out of principle, I would like to turn them off, but I know that it might hinder us as well, being such a small channel. For now, they're going to stay on here, but if we do start having big issues, I will just remove them, because yeah, I think it is a terrible system. And it's just broken. Every single aspect of it is completely and utterly broken. The worst bit about all of this, though, is that there is absolutely nothing that we can do about it. There is no amount of complaining, I don't think, is going to change Google's mind, because they have decided, and it is quite apparent from all of these things that I have brought up, they have decided that this is what is happening and don't care about the consequences. Now, I am well aware that when things change, people on the internet, shall we say, don't like change. They really don't like change. It's very easy for them to suddenly start complaining rather loudly for a couple of weeks about something change, and then they'll get bored and give up. Now, yeah, this is one of the problems with this, is that I'm going to assume that the similar thing is going to happen with this. After a couple of weeks, people will eventually give up. They will give up trying to change this because nothing's happening. Google just don't give a crap, or YouTube or whoever is in control of this don't really care. So people will just eventually give up complaining. It's not necessarily because we like it, because we've got used to it. It's just because there is nothing we can do about it. With the previous changes YouTube has had, I haven't always necessarily agreed with them, but I can kind of see why they've done it. I don't particularly like the new channel layout. I'm not a massive fan of it. I prefer the old one. However, I can see why they do it. They're trying to have some continuity between the mobile devices and the web pages. A lot of YouTube stuff is now viewed on mobiles. I can see why they did it. It kind of makes a little bit of sense to me why they did it, and I can sort of get used to it, as they didn't really remove anything. Sure, they moved stuff around. They made it a little... They sort of placed stuff in different areas, made it a little bit different to find to begin with, but of course you get used to it. You get used to the new routine of finding where the stuff is and that kind of thing. But with this, they've just messed everything up. It's not a case of just moving it around and some stuff might be better hidden than it was before, or some stuff might be more obvious than it was before. They've just made a massive mess of this, and is never going to work. It's just going to cause so many problems, and yeah, eventually people will stop arguing this. People will stop making videos. They will stop tweeting or whatever the hell it is that you do to try and get Google's attention, or YouTube, whoever's decided on this, attention. And they will just think, oh, everybody's got used to it. No, we've just got fed up of trying to argue with people who are obviously stupid. So I hope that we can do something about this. I'm going to put a link in the description to a petition to try and change it. I don't know if it's going to do any good. We could get 1 million people, or there could be 1 million people sign that, and I still don't think it would make any difference. But maybe it will. Who knows? It's worth a try. There's not much more that I can do after making this video. I don't know what else there is that we can do to try and get this changed. So yeah, I ask that you go sign the petition, share, tweet, whatever it is that you do this video. Try and get somebody somewhere to pay attention to this issue. I doubt that me personally this is going to do a huge amount of good. We are a very tiny channel as it is, but it's worth a try. I'm doing the best that I can to try and change this. But yeah, it's an utterly ridiculous system. There is nothing about it that is positive that I can see, or at least the only positives are stuff that are brought over from the last system. There really is nothing good about this system, nothing better than the previous system, and there is so much wrong and broken with it that it really is utterly useless. So yeah, that is it for this rant. Sort of, yeah, I'm not going to make a regular thing of doing these, but yeah, this really is just unbelievably stupid. So yeah, I thought I should do a video. I don't know what I'm going to have on the screen either at this point. On a lighter note, I'm probably going to play some beamNG, and you might have been watching me crash a car for 20 minutes. But oh well, yeah, that is it for this video, guys. So thank you very much for watching or listening or whatever it is that you're doing, and until next time, goodbye.